What I want to share with you today is not going to be long, and honestly, it's not going to be particularly profound or deep. I'm not going to show you anything from the Bible that you don't know, but I want to remind you of something that is easy to forget, which is this: we are in a spiritual war, whether there's a virus floating around our world or not. The truth is, the enemy and the devil is real. The enemy is constantly coming against us. He's constantly attacking us, trying to destroy us, discourage us, and tear us down. And what you'll see happening when you're under the pressure of the situation we're in right now, where a lot of us are thinking about what's going on and what might happen in the future, a lot of us find ourselves allowing that level of pressure and tension to rise up inside of us. And what will happen, because the enemy knows how we work, is that he watches for opportunities to use something or someone to trigger a response in us. And so we don't always realize what's going on. We have that underlying tension. We're trying to deal with it. We're thinking about what's happening. We're worried about our job, our income, worried about our health, whatever it might be. And then the enemy, at the absolute worst time, will cause someone to say something. You get a phone call, you get a text message, something breaks down, something goes wrong. It can take dozens of different forms, and you get to use a word that's being passed around way too much right now in our society, but you'll understand what I mean. You get triggered. That event, that moment, that person triggers something in your mind that sends you into a dark place. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you've dealt with it, and so have I. One of the things that I have to do periodically, and this is not deep, profound teaching hidden away in the recesses of some obscure book of the Old Testament. This is plain, simple teaching about spiritual warfare. One of the things I have to do is resist the devil. The Bible talks about it. James chapter 4, verse 7 says, "Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." The point being this: when you come under submission to the Lord and you say, "God, I choose to surrender myself and my will and my desires to you," and that's something you have to do on a daily basis, sometimes many times a day. When you submit yourself to God, you are then in a place where you can resist the devil. And so sometimes I get caught off guard. I haven't submitted myself to God. I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about what I want and what I think ought to happen, and I'm allowing my train of thought to go in a particular direction that's not of the Holy Spirit. And the enemy sees that. And he attacks me. Something will go wrong. Someone will do something. It can happen in dozens of different ways. And suddenly that victory I thought I had, that sense of God's blessing and well-being that I thought I was experiencing, it evaporates into nothing. And why? Because I hadn't been submitting myself to God. I'd been allowing my mind to go in its own direction, thinking the thoughts that I thought, rather than what God would have me to dwell on. All of you have different things that trigger you, to use that word. And I want to encourage you, be sensitive, be careful, be aware. And throughout the day, if you want to resist the power of the enemy to undermine and destroy your confidence and faith and blessing, then you need to come back to that idea of submitting yourself to God. In my case, I have to actually say it in my mind, sometimes out loud with my words. Lord, I submit myself to you. I humble myself before you. I depend on you, Lord. I need you. Because that's the only way that I'm going to be ready. for one of those moments when the enemy is going to come against me and something's going to happen, someone's going to do something, someone's going to say something. It's going to cause me to lose all of the ground that I've gained throughout that day. I don't say this to condemn you. I don't say this to make you feel guilty. I say it because I love you. And I believe most of you are in the same situation I'm in. Be aware of what the enemy wants to do to you. And be prepared by submitting yourself to God, by humbling yourself before Him. Do it every day. Do it multiple times a day. That way you will resist the devil successfully and cause him to flee from you.